So Harry, welcome to Beat TV. Tell us why you think we're heading into a golden age for smaller brands advertising on television. What's really changed?
Well, I think addressable is what's changed. Addressable TV was obviously focused on targeted advertising, especially within on-demand, but also we'll see linear addressable as well, means that smaller brands don't have to put the level of investment that would be required in a large, broad national campaign and the investment in creative that goes with that. So we've seen, especially this year actually, in a year of the pandemic, we've seen small, often direct-to-consumer brands coming through with much lower budgets, still able to produce fantastic TV creative, but able to target an audience that's very specific to them, whether that is demographically, geographically, or around very specific behaviours and sections of the audience and the UK population. So the barrier to entry is just lower than it used to be.
Now, a lot of these brands are obviously digitally native. Why should they start thinking about advertising on TV? What does TV offer that digital doesn't?
Yeah, well, we talk about the power of TV. And what's been lacking really until the last few years with the advent of addressable is the precision of data. So you've had the power of TV without the precision of data, which many of these brands will know a lot about through search and social and digital programmatic advertising, but has not been available to them until very recently on TV. And I think that's the big difference, the ability to reach their specific audience, but with the power, the quality, and the level of trust that goes with TV advertising. TV is probably the most loved advertising medium, and one that most people can relate most easily to. It's a welcome advertising medium, and that's something that we've seen from a lot of the research we've done. So a great opportunity for small brands to have more impact with their potential customers and their existing customers.
Now, obviously, addressable is relatively uneven in the UK. Does that mean there are certain TV viewers that are easier to reach with an addressable campaign than others?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's actually not as uneven as people think. To reach them at the moment, the problem is it's become a very fragmented ecosystem. You'd have to go to each broadcaster in turn to reach their on-demand audience. And by the way, not able to reach their linear audiences on an addressable basis yet. So we got differences there. And then you've got obviously Sky and AdSmart that do offer linear addressable. And then you've got the new CTV suppliers coming in as well. So in terms of where the audience are and the content that they're viewing, they're pretty scattered. However, what we do see is that demographically they are growing, and it is younger audiences that are moving more from live scheduled TV into on-demand TV, and that pattern is growing dramatically at the moment. COVID, I think, has accelerated it as well, with more on-demand viewing happening over the last 6 to 8 months or so. So yes, it is definitely evening out, and the audiences are growing. But I think what will change over the next 5 years is that everything will become digital. In fact, everything will become addressable. And then really, TV has completely changed, complete transformation. And everything that you would expect, or much of what you'd expect from digital in terms of your ability to reach an audience, will be applicable consistently across TV. And I think that's very exciting.
You've also done some research, I think, looking at the importance of relevance or the power of relevance in TV advertising. Tell us a bit about what you did. Who did you do it with? What did you discover?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about relevance in a sec, but the research itself was done with Dipstick's research group, or DRG, and with UCL, so University College London and the Department of Experimental Psychology, basically a set of neuroscience professors at UCL. So a great partnership and very exciting for us. And they took a very broad, I'd almost say 360-degree view of what is the viewing experience today. So how do viewers feel about TV and TV advertising, and how do brands feel about TV advertising, and the complete picture there. So relevance was an incredibly important part of that. We had 3 hypotheses going into it, actually. One that big screen matters, that adverts seen on TV on the larger screen, or the TV screen in the living room, have a different effect to those that are seen on smaller screens, so tablets and mobiles. And environment obviously is a factor in that as well, living room versus train, for example. The second is that advertising within professionally produced premium content, or say broadcaster level quality TV content, as opposed to sort of digital or more social video content matters and has an effect. And that thirdly, to say relevance matters. And by that we mean, in the language we're using, addressability. So targeted advertising to relevant audiences. Relevance. I would caveat that and say there's a difference between relevance and personalized. Personalized is we look at it more in terms of sort of hyper targeted advertising, what you'd associate with digital display and video as opposed to TV advertising, which by the way isn't possible. Addressable advertising is at a household level or cluster of households, so postcode level. So it is not one-to-one advertising, and the creative strategy doesn't reflect that. So big differences. But the good news is that what the research did show through surveys, through ethnography studies, and through neuroscience, is that relevance of advertising message does make a difference. It leads to higher engagement and ultimately greater effectiveness of advertising.